Good Tuesday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk. This, an insider's guide to real estate, life, and the pursuit of happiness, presented by the fabulous, the Yes Team, Realtors. It's a Tuesday, guys, and we're live across the globe on the I Love CVille Network. And to put this into perspective, we're going to welcome the star of our show, who is doing this program from Seattle on the West Coast. I'm live in Charlottesville in our headquarters on Market Street in the Macklin building. Keith, it is approximately 7:17 in the morning over there, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, we have to be quiet. People are sleeping. Not really. I got up at 4 o'clock to get my time to get ready for this show. So I me being without my hearing aids, I'm a little loud. So I already got yelled out in this little cute little apartment we are in the middle of Seattle.
Yeah. Okay. First, why don't we start there? What kind of digs are we in here? And can we put the digs in comparison to, say, downtown Charlottesville with an apartment for similar money?
Oh no, not even close. But the neighborhood they live in is Ravenna, and if you were to take Belmont, right, and just make it a little bit bigger, a lot bigger, it's a cute little neighborhood. But we just talking, since this is a real estate show, we took a look at, because we've got to do this because this is what we do. Right. We took a look at a piece of property for the kids yesterday, 450 square foot house. 450 square foot house, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Would you want to guess what that's going on the market for?
Okay, so this is
or sold for, actually?
450 square foot home in Seattle.
In Seattle, in this little, so just imagine Belmont. I mean, it's super cool. It's just like Belmont, the same kind of street patterns and age of homes, actually. And but 400 is a little 450 square foot bungalow.
So would you call that a tiny home?
Man, I'd call that a tiny home.
but like, does that fall under the definition of a tiny home?
It was built in the 1920s.
Okay. I'll say maybe 700K.
Sorry, I apologize. 1940s. I apologize.
Okay. I'll say 700,000.
Oh, well, you're a little high. It was 550.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Tear it down and build a new house. So basically, they paid $550,000 for a lot.
Man. Well, is that why she has a distinguished gentleman as a father? Is that what we're saying?
No, I just gave her a number. I said, good luck. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Here's the name of a trusted advisor. Right? Here's the name of a thing. I'll get a referral out of it.
You get your referral.
I missed you, man. I totally missed this time together with you. I really did.
Me too.
I'm with my family, and we're having some great time. And the kids we're celebrating both the kids' birthday, and then they were recently married. We were supposed to have a big wedding on the 20th, but they decided to do a quick little marriage ceremony. So very Seattle-like. Yonna and I, before we went out, and said, so hey, what do you guys want to do? It's on us. What do you want to do? And the two things we did is we went salmon fishing on Sunday. What's today? Tuesday. Salmon on Sunday, which we'll talk about in a minute. And the second thing we did yesterday is, in which I sent you guys some pictures if we have time to show up. About an hour and a half outside of town, there's this beautiful snow lake. It's a 6-mile round trip hike. And when they say moderate out here, they really mean anything but moderate. It was 1,600 feet up, right? And then you had to come down the other side of the thing about another 600-700 feet to get to the lake, and then you had to come back up that and back. But it was absolutely gorgeous. And as everybody knows, Yonna's from Austria, and when we were doing this hike, it just reminded me very much of back home. Yonna was just like, this is back home, this is back home. It's really, excuse me, it was really gorgeous. But, it's a great place, man. You could be fishing on the Sound, catching salmon on a Sunday and on a Monday. you're hiking up in the mountains. What's not
I
to
love
love?
it. I love it. Keith Smith, guys, live from Seattle here on Real Talk, presented by the Yes Team Realtors and Bill Tucker's Charlottesville Settlement Company. So, Keith, I have two takeaways from what you just said. The first takeaway, that hike that you did sounds like you doing a bike ride in Lake Monticello at 5 in the morning like you always do. And then the second part, are you doing the show from a studio next to the road over there? Because I'm hearing some vehicle traffic over there.
No, we're in the city, so that's what you got. I'll shut the door. Hang on one second.
Okay.
You want me
This
to
is
do
good.
that?
I like it. This is good. Yeah. I like
Okay.
it. I like it. So how's the market, my friend?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a little bit on the back end of it. We're going to chat a little bit about the city of Charlottesville. We kind of took a little bit into that. But the couple of things I wanted to cover today was most of all catch up with you guys. And I got to tell you, even though it's great to be with family, you guys are family too. I totally missed the time that we spent together. So I think if we do this right, I'm going to try to shout out slide numbers, and Judah can kind of try to put it out. But so I kind of wanted to start off with the intro slide, which is, what's 2020 home buyer preferences, and I'm trying to do a little technology here. I'm trying to watch you.
And those are on screen. I'll give you the thumbs up when they're on screen.
Got it. Before we get into this, how's things in Charlottesville in the last several days?
Things are good, man. Charlottesville is feeling the impact of, as you know, fall sports and UVA.
Yeah.
Things are good. I think positivity is creeping on the horizon. We have the scuttlebutt of a potential vaccine, although it's from Russia. And whether or not we could trust Russia on the vaccine, I just take it as hope and positive. But things are good, Mike. When are you back?
I don't know. If this keeps on going like this, I might just keep on going.
You're going to stay in Seattle.
No. I'll be in. We're back Thursday morning. We're doing the whole red eye thing, and so we'll be in studio with you on Friday. Yeah. So talking about COVID and what folks want, this Harrison poll put out this 2020 homebuyer preferences, and we've been kind of talking about this stuff repetitively over the show, and one of the things I want to get to a little bit later on is something that I've been constantly asked, and I think you've asked me sometimes, hey, is another foreclosure crisis is coming on? And there were some really good articles I read. One of the good things about taking a little bit of time off, even though we did a couple of deals while we've been out here already. It's the technology is great, man. I mean, you can, and we're very fortunate. We have a great team of people. But yeah, we just Yonna did 2 contracts. I was fishing.
That's awesome.
She did.
Good job, Yonna.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she's still sleeping, so it's just you and me today. She's not watching. Yeah, so, people are optimists. We talked about, I think you mentioned at the beginning of the show, confidence, right? Confidence seems to be building. God forbid we get a relapse of this. I don't know how this is going to affect everything. But, at the moment, when Harris poll is asking 55% of the consumer, are they more optimistic today than they were in the beginning of this corona impact? Those are big numbers, and and the other thing is interesting that you're starting to see. One of the slides shows 63% of folks are saving money, and we're hearing that, right? We're hearing that out in the marketplace. People are saving money. I think that's one of the great things, not the great things, one of the benefits of this COVID-19 thing is folks are starting to save a little bit of capital because they're not burning it, I think, as fast. But I don't know. Are you seeing that on your front?
100%. And that's something that that we've been highlighting, and I think we've been all over. I think some folks, froze gym memberships. They're going a less trip to the happy hour or to the brewery, a less trip or 2 out each month to the restaurant, more eating in, more having the beverage on the front porch as opposed to the favorite watering hole. People are saving money. And dude, I completely agree with you, Keith. I see the confidence slowly returning. And it's as an owner of an advertising agency, I am seeing this, Keith, across many different sectors. Not only with you, and I really, you, I feel like in Yonna and real estate are a good indicator for how the market and the economy is doing. So I really listen closely to you. But say Patty Zeller at Animal Connection, she's retail. She's seeing people coming in. The brewery clients are seeing people coming in. Interstate, phones ringing. Scott Wagner, people. So I don't know. Don't you feel like it's coming back, my friend?
Well, it's funny. We did a little bit of traveling in the last few weeks, right? One was to Cape Charles for a week to spend it with our oldest daughter and our grandson, and now we're out in Seattle. And at least those two places, you can pick up on the vibe. People seem to be super positive on it. So we'll see how it goes. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's the current perks for both buyers and sellers right now. And then I really want to try to get into some thoughts and do a little bit of banter, a little Batman and Robin.
I like it.
On I've ordered the suit, buddy.
This guy for Halloween is going to have himself and myself.
Oh, no. I did not say
I thought that's what you said.
Just you.
You're not. No, you got to do it too. Okay.
Yeah.
So on Halloween, this guy is going to do the show in a Batman costume, and I'm going to do the show in a Robin costume. And I think it's going to be freaking hilarious, Keith Smith.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I ordered it. It's on its way. So what's the biggest perk for buyers right now, right? It's the mortgage rate, right? And I think if we can go on to slide number 1, if Judah wouldn't mind putting that on. But thank you. But the bottom line, this is the best rate since the 1970s. And if you could just take a look at the chart, and I was having a conversation with Scott Morris, I think it was yesterday, helping another client out. I think he's got like a 2.78 rate. That's insane. We talk about this all a couple of times. My biggest fear is this becomes complacent. This is normal, right? And it is not normal. And you could just look at the chart and tell that it's not normal. Normal is somewhere in that 4 to 6% range and that stuff. So we're really watching that closely. But and if he can jump into slide number 2, but what does that really mean? So bottom line is you can afford more house for your monthly payment, right? So even though prices are starting to go up a little bit, right? But with the interest rates dropping or staying low, you can afford more house. And again, when we get into this, why isn't foreclosure going to happen? We're going to kind of retouch on this stuff. I think this particular fact is impacting the fact that I don't think we're going to have a foreclosure crisis, and it's just not me. It's some pretty smart people. So the bottom line is, for the same amount of money, right? We talk about this, for your. I was just helping a client trying to find a rental Lake Monticello before we left. I can't find anything under $1,600.
That's amazing.
3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So for that same $1,600, you can buy, at sub 3%, a considerable amount of house.
And you have a listing, and has it gone under contract? You have a listing now at the lake, a really cute, smaller home, needed a little TLC, but it had all the bones and all the potential. I mean, that one is priced amazingly for what you're talking about.
And it went on the contract yesterday.
How long was it on the market for?
Oh, I'd have to. You're quizzing me. We put it on the market before we came out here, so amazing. A few days. Right. And again, lack of inventory, and we'll chat about this a little bit later. But there's just no inventory out there, and there's this push, a yin and yang, this push and pull between the rates, lack of inventory, and it's kind of just pushing things up, but you're not really seeing these huge percentage jumps, and that's kind of the other reason why I don't think you're going to see this foreclosure thing issue, even though there's building equity, and that's really the two issues with it, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But if you go to slide 4, now this is nationwide, right? So this is a nationwide thing put on by National Association of Realtors. We absolutely love on this show because what do you and I love?
Stats. Yeah, we love stats. Slide 4's up.
I love stats. Yeah, and it's funny. I was trying to think why you love them so much, and then I realized you started in the sports world. Yeah, I'm a little slow. It took me 2 years to
fell
figure
in
it out.
love growing up. My brother and I, we were not allowed to watch much television, and we were certainly not allowed to play video games. So one of the perks, besides take that ball, play outside, come back at night. If I hear a peep from you, you're getting the yardstick across your ass. So besides that, it was the sports page. And we would pour through the statistics over breakfast or dinner. And that's when I fell in love with statistics, was pouring through the sports page as a little kid. How about you? Because you have an affinity for stats too, my friend.
Yeah, it didn't come from sports. To be honest with you, we're same thing, right? Our video game was here's a rubber ball and a broomstick. Go out in the street and play stickball, right?
Right.
That was it. But I was super fortunate growing up as a kid because back in the '60s and the '70s, if I wanted to go to Shea Stadium and watch the Mets play, and this is when Willie Mays was playing. Right? As long as you had a mitt, and you were under 16, 18 years old, they just let you in.
That's awesome.
You didn't have a seat, you run around, and what was this? Hang out and watch. So we got to see a lot of games, right? Same thing with the Jets. As long as you showed up and you were a little kid, and but that back in those days, Queens and Brooklyn were all not that they aren't working, but they're pretty much upper scale now at this point. But back then, they were cops, firemen, sanitation, construction guys and gals. This was very much so a blue-collar, working-class neighborhood. And that's, a little bit of sports teams. You never rooted for the Yankees because that was Manhattan, right? That was not you. You wanted to go to your blue-collar Jets and Mets. That's thing. So
are you worried? Are you worried about the city? Are you worried about Manhattan and the 5 boroughs? I mean, the people are flooding away from New York City.
We see it every day, but this is cyclical. It happens from time to time, and I mean, the whole. I mean, if you go, I believe in the intro slide, which I don't have in front of me at the moment. We talk about folks wanting to, I'm sorry, I apologize. I think I got a different slide here. Would be 4A. Thank you for segueing me into that. Look at this. Our chemistry is working 2 coasts away. You're thinking, Smith, get on track.
I'm guiding you over there.
You're guiding me. Yeah, so, great segue. So thank you. So Realtor.com, why are these folks moving out of the city, right? Why are they moving out of the large metro areas? Because, in April, they wanted more interior space, more outdoor space, updated kitchen, better technology. July, so they did this in mid-July. Guess what? More interior space, desire to own, moved from the city to the suburbs, and they needed more outdoor space. And I see that trend happening moving forward. But it's been happening for years. It's just really never gotten the attention, unfortunately, that COVID has brought to it. But we talked about this all the time. This has been trend been going on for a couple of years if you really sit down and follow the numbers. But when we get to talk about the city of Charlottesville numbers, none of that will make sense what I just did because it's the opposite. The city is still humming. And still moving along.
You got questions coming in. One in particular from your buddy.
Which one's that?
Neil Williamson.
Hey, Neil.
And he's just curious of Seattle and its residential regulatory zoning and how
Yeah.
difficult it is in Seattle to do things. And if you could compare and contrast where you're at in Seattle, even more to the city of Charlottesville with some of the limitations that are there from an affordable housing standpoint.
Yeah.
Neil Williamson watching, Christopher Eagle, Real Estate 3, Johnny is watching as well. Hello, Johnny. What are your thoughts on
Hey,
Neil's
Johnny.
topic?
So Neil knows I'm actually doing a little bit of work when I'm out here. So I'm part of a national cohort that's looking at auxiliary dwelling units to be used as affordable housing options, aka tiny homes. So there's a team. Charlottesville's one of them. It's Portland, Seattle. We have several other cities around the thing. So I'm actually informally here reconnecting with some of the folks that we've been working on it. And actually had a conversation with one of the guys on the teams out here in Seattle. So what they're doing is they're incentivizing property owners, the city that is, to go ahead and create tiny homes or auxiliary dwelling units in the back of their homes. Now, keep in mind, if you can imagine Belmont with all its alleyways and all that stuff, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of homes that meet that physical criteria. So that it's a little bit easier to physically do it. But that's what they're doing. So they're incentivizing them. If you turn around and build an ADU, and this is a program that I kind of pitched a couple of years ago, and I'm helping the guys over here at the planning department in Seattle. But what they're doing is they're basically marrying the land trust, which, as you know, I'm passionate about, and affordable housing. And what you would do is, if you own a piece of property, if I get too technical, shut me down. But if you own a piece of property in Belmont, what would happen is the land trust would lease the property underneath the ADU unit for 9 years from you. Cities donating money to go ahead and build it, and then we put affordable housing folks in there. I don't think that really answers Neil's question, but
so hold on. This is how this works. I'm going to throw this to you. I'm trying to understand, and I learned from you. So what Seattle is doing, and I'm going to try to compare it to Belmont for all the folks that are watching. What Seattle is doing is it's going to property owners, and they're saying to the property owners, let us build a tiny home in your backyard. The city is going to allocate money from its accounts and its coffers to cover the construction of a tiny home. The construction of a tiny home can be between $100,000 and $200,000, depending on how well you do it. And then the land trust is going to pay rent for the dirt to the homeowner.
Correct. That's what's going to happen. So the land trust is going to own the land.
Who owns the house?
Right?
Who owns the tiny house?
Oh, so the property owner, the original property owner owns the house. And what they do is they end up getting, if they commit, at the moment is 15 years. If they commit to 15 years of doing this affordable, they get tax breaks and so forth and so on. And then if they sell it, there's this whole proration process going back and forth. But the bottom line is what they're doing is they're making what I like to see is this public-private partnerships. Sure. And so it's an added 3P, public, private, and nonprofit partnerships. And these 3Ps are coming together to go ahead and help solve it. Now, keep in mind, their affordable housing crisis here, though we have one big time where we're at, is multiplied by many, many hundreds of times. It's pretty high, but it's pretty cool. We're trying to do it. It doesn't necessarily answer Neil's question on it. I could just tell you from this perspective, the city of Seattle, anyway, it seems to be a pretty progressive as it is, and pretty much so. What can we do to help? Let's get out of the way. Let's red tape, green tape. We talk about this all the time. They're really removing red tape from this process.
We'll see how I find it fascinating. So after 15 years, and guys, Keith Smith live from Seattle right now on Real Talk, presented by the Yes Team Realtors, also powered by Pearl Certification, a phenomenal way to get your home ready for refinancing or to get it listed with a trusted advisor like the Yes Team Realtors, is Pearl Certification. So after 15 years, does the homeowner with the tiny house in the backyard, can he then take the rent-controlled tiny home and then rent it for full market value?
It can, but there's like a buyout process in it. So there's, so it's kind of like an amortization
Uh-huh.
table, a little bit on it. But the tax breaks kind of go away at the moment as of 15 out of 15 years. So there's also some, they've got to figure out how the loan repayment goes back. So there's a structure where a percentage of the monthly rent goes back to the property owner, a percentage of the monthly rent goes to the land trust. We could talk about this when I'm in studio
Sure.
with some charts, but the bottom line is they're doing a basically a pilot program, and they're trying to see if this is going to work. And we shall see. I'll keep an eye
Here's a
on it.
good question coming in for you, and it's tied into one of the slides you have ready to go, Keith. So
Okay.
Jerry and Keith, I watch this show all the time, and you routinely talk about why it's a good time to buy a home. Can you give me
Sure.
advice on why it's a good time to sell a home?
Yeah, so it's a good time to sell the home is the slide that we just talked about. First of all, there's a bunch of buyers out there, and second of all, it's cheap money, right? I mean, let's call it like it is. As a matter of fact, it's free money, and they're particularly where you're located. If they're first-time home buyers, and if we're under the what they call jumbo market, if you're under the $500,000, 509, whatever the amount of money is that jumbo is right now, there's just some awesome programs out there. No money down. It's just awesome. So that's why you want to sell. Now the question becomes where you're going to go.
Right, it's the pinch of the inventory.
That's exactly right.
Good question, guys. Give it a like and a share on any of the Facebook pages you're watching. We will get to these questions. We have a few more that are coming in. Keith, the
Cool.
next slide you want to highlight, Judah says he has ready to go for you.
So that's slide number 5,
Yep.
right? Got it. So actually, this whole genesis of this thinking to talk about this and doing research on it started from you, Jerry. You kind of pushed me on a show some time back about, hey, is the foreclosure crisis of 2008 going to happen again? And, I've been doing some reading and some research, and in particularly this particular author, I'll butcher her name, so I will not try to say it. But she worked for First American, and she's basically saying two things have to happen. One is that we have to have an adverse economic condition, which we currently have. We are currently in a recession, right? If you've lost your job, you're in a recession. And the second thing that has to happen is the equity has to not be there any longer. So if you go back to 2008, what was the two biggest things that happened? The equity crash, right? The housing market crash. You lost, you bought a house for $1. All of a sudden, your house is now worth 75 cents. So that's a loss in equity. The other thing is people were losing jobs. Now, not at the rate that they're doing now, but we'll talk about this a little bit later. They're coming back in big time. I think we had the last 3 months of reduction of that. So those are really the two big things. And then, just a lack of inventory. Right, and those two main things is, the crash happened. There's going to be the adverse economic conditions happen, and the equity really isn't there. Right, the loss of equity really isn't there, and unfortunately, and I think we'll talk about this later on another slide. Unfortunately, the folks that really are struggling from the employment perspective really is impacting not so much on mortgage side, but on the rent
Absolutely.
side. And we'll bring some stats on Friday from this relief program that I'm a part of for the Thomas Jefferson Planning District Commission. But we pretty much burned through all our money already, and I will talk about details on that. But the ratio of renters versus mortgage, it's ridiculous. There's only like a handful of folks that use the money from mortgage. Everybody else is for renters. So that's not impacting the real estate market, the buy and the sell side of
So
things.
you're basically,
Does
that makes
sense?
perfect sense. This is basically what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong here. Unfortunately, and it's just really one of the truly unfortunate aspects of COVID-19, that it has more greatly impacted from a financial standpoint the individuals that were already living paycheck to paycheck or on the margin or had little savings. And
That's
this
correct.
demographic of folks was not the demographic that was owning homes. They instead were renting homes. So that is one of your justifications of why we will not have a foreclosure crisis. We may have a lease default crisis.
No, well, we're going to. I haven't had a chance to follow up with what the president has done and some of the other stuff that's going on. And I know that and Neil can chime in. I believe that we've done another moratorium on evictions in the state of Virginia, but I haven't had a chance to actually research it. Just some quick reading I did over the last couple of days. So the good news is I think that the moratorium is continuing along. But if you go to slide 9, so I'm jumping around a little bit on you, but this is kind of important because it demonstrates what we just talked about. So this is the total spending of all consumers compared, right? So if you take a look at it, in January, February, we're pretty much tracking straight on the thing. Then all of a sudden COVID hit. What went up? Groceries, right? People are staying home. What dropped was apparel, healthcare, restaurants, and hotels. All these service sectors that we just talked about, the most part, let's say they rent, unfortunately. Now that's why I'm so passionate about affordable housing. That's why I'm out visiting today after the show some of these test projects that we're talking about that they've actually built a couple of them. So I'm going to go talk to some of the people and the homeowners out there and the tenants out there. And hey, how is this really working? As soon as we finish with this show, I've got some visits going out there. But you also can see how it's pulling back up, right? In August, we're going to be past the neutral line, I'm sure, on apparel. So everything's kind of taken a pretty either a very shallow V, right, or a very sharp V, but we are recovering.
Comments coming in for you. Keith Smith, guys, live from Seattle on Real Talk, presented by Roy Wheeler Realty Company, a trusted name in the game, Roy Wheeler Realty Company. Cassie Clausen says, Keith Smith, I love that tiny homes are part of the discussion. I love this pilot program. We need this in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Well, just to answer that real quick, technically I'm part of the team that's been on.
We still got.
Right now, the folks in the city and both the county are trying to let's get past the COVID issue.
I got you frozen a little bit. I still got you here. You're frozen. Can you hear me? I'm going to reach back. Oh, I got you, Keith. Can you hear me? Keith Smith, you got you there? Okay.
Sorry about that. I got it. Sorry about that.
I got you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I got you.
I got you, man.
Okay,
hey,
so
you know what? There's 2 remote things. That was the only blip we had so far.
That's amazing, and it was a very brief blip. So, I mean, the tiny homes likely seeing that anytime soon in Charlottesville. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm going to push it hard because you know me well enough to know that I'm going to push it hard. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, this program out in Seattle, from a city's perspective. Let me see. I've been doing this for over 2 years. They put this program together in less than 2 years, and as far as local governments go, that's light speed, right? That's just jumping the light speed real fast. So if you go to slide 6, this is a great little explanation of why, unfortunately, this recession is is affecting the renters. It's really this certain sectors that it's hitting really, really hard. So the good news is we're going to try to help them. The good news is if you're in these circumstances and you need some help from a renter's perspective, go back to a couple of shows, reach out to the Thomas Jefferson Planning District Commission, that there is help. I will report before I have to request more money from the city, from the feds, from the CARE Act. So we got more money coming in, but that we're doing some great work trying to help folks so the renters are not impacted.
Was it 15 million you guys burned through?
No.
How much was it?
We had 2 million, 2.2 million.
Okay, 2.2 million. Okay.
But if you want to write a $$15 million
I don't have that money.
folks out, we'd be more than happy to take it.
I don't have that money.
Come on now.
Let me throw this to you, my friend. When you head back to this market, and we're right in the middle of Q3 heading into the back end of 2020, what are you seeing playing out for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so I got a chance to catch on the way coming out here the show that you did with Michael. So thanks, Michael, if he's watching, for doing it for me while we were traveling. Look, as long as inventory stays this way and unemployment, I think if we go to hang on one second, if we go to slide 7, basically since April, we've been dropping from an insane high of 15%. We're now around 10%. We've got a long way to go to get back to the 4 to 5 to 6%, which is dependent on who you're talking to. Says that's your kind of norm. So we got halfway to go. We got a bit of making up to do. But if we keep this trend of dropping every month, if unemployment is staying down, it's just, to be honest with you, the housing market is so super resilient. Trying to figure out why is just taking up everybody's time. I had a conversation yesterday with, as you know, my son-in-law is a doctor, with a couple of his friends, and they were trying to say, Keith, tell me, why the hell is this real estate market going nuts? I don't understand it. And the reality of it is the basic 2 things we're talked about, right? Lack of inventory, interest rates are low. And it's great for buyers, it's great for sellers. How long is it going to stay? I'm trying not to answer the question, Jerry, so I'm dancing around.
Well, I mean, the answer to the question is move as quickly as possible, because don't take for granted that these rates will stay there forever. I mean, is that pretty much how you see it?
I don't know what they're waiting for.
Yeah. I think we have a hesitation on his end with the Wi-Fi. Do we still have you there, Keith? Wi-Fi's a little spotty. I'll try to reach out to you one more time to see if we can get you. I think where we left it there, Jude, and I'm going to reach out to him again. I'm going to give you a heads up, Keith. I'll reach right back out to you. I think where he was getting at was the rates need to go back up, that he's surprised that they're still where they're at. And a lot of people are saying on Wall Street that we need to raise the rates back up to get the economy pick it back up again. Certainly the banks want to see the rates go up. I got him back on the line here, J-Dubs, giving you a heads up.
Yeah.
I think where we lost you there, and you're back on, Keith, was
I'm sorry, guys. I got full signal. I'm not really sure what's going on.
You talking about the rates, and you're surprised that they have not come back up.
The interest rates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised, and we talked about this before. And how can banks make money?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how they're making money is the feds are basically.
They're guaranteeing the loan.
That's exactly.
Yeah,
right.
how the banks are making money is they're taking flyers from people that they otherwise would not give money to, because they know that money's backed by the Fed and they can't lose. Now, here's the thing, that backstopping of the economy is eventually going to stop. And then at that point, the rates have to go up or the banks ain't going to make any juice.
It's funny, we were having a conversation with Yvonne, and they just recently that's our youngest daughter, recently got married. And Yonna and I was like, what, my biggest fear is who's going to pay for all this, right? And she turned around, she goes, my grandkids. I said, well, I don't think so. I think it's going to be you.
But that's why they had the small, intimate wedding.
No, I did. We're still going to have the big guy in next year.
Oh, you are? Okay, gotcha.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get out of that.
Okay.
I tried,
Is the big guy in Seattle next year?
Well, they're going to, hopefully, this is all fixed, right? And hopefully
we have a vaccine.
We have a real vaccine that doesn't come from.
Yeah, I know, right? God.
I mean, the fact that anybody actually speaks these words or writes these words is insane.
Right, let's say that again. And your background in particular really applies here. I love this man.
No shit.
I love this man because of how frank he is. Who is really taking a vaccine from a Russian dictator seriously, folks? I'm not.
That's like you saying, "Hey, I got a vaccine." Oh, okay,
Yeah,
Jerry's got a vaccine. Yeah, I mean, it's just nuts. And we come from a very, very personal perspective on that. All you have to do is watch this documentary. Did I lose you
No, you're
again?
here. We got you.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All you got to do is watch this documentary or this movie that was done about Chernobyl. And that mentality, that's just I'm not trying to. We love Russian folks. We have plenty of Russian friends, but that's just say trust verify. No, hold it. Then we'll go.
Oh man, I think you're going in and out again here.
I am. How about now?
On his, yeah. You're going in and out over
It's
here.
on my end?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll dot the I's and cross the T's on our end over here. And you're back.
Hang on one second.
Are you back Friday?
I am back Friday. Yeah.
I'm excited to see you.
Just hang on one second. I'm gonna switch to 5G. Hang on one second.
Okay, that switch is gonna drop us though. This is live programming.
Okay. Well, then I won't switch.
Live programming. So are you trying to get out of that conversation about the wedding next summer? Is that why the internet's spotty right now?
Man, if you would watch my mouse, that's exactly what I'm doing. Click, 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 click. Hey, I gotta go. See you later. So hey, before we lose internet again, and I apologize, it's fading in and out on us. Right? Who knew on the hang on one second. Are you guys on the internet in that line? Okay, got it. Yeah, sorry about it, guys. Who knew? The little village of Cape Charles cell service. I had better internet than the middle of Seattle, right? The tech capital of the world. I'm on freaking 2 million speed fiber, and I still losing it. I think you're canceled. I think Judah's like, I'm done with him. I'm done with him.
He loves the show.
So let's talk.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So you want to talk a little bit of Charlottesville market?
Yeah, I'm itching to hear the Charlottesville market.
Okay, so I texted you.
I know. What was that you texted me? You texted me some chicken scratch over there. I know. What is it?
Oh, come on now. Come on now. This is the same guy that said, "Hey, I love your handwriting." Now you're dishing me in front of all these people.
I wasn't dissing you. Tell me about the Tell me about the Charlottesville market.
So, quick little review on some numbers here. Basically on detached homes in Charlottesville, 2019, 2020. I looked over the last 3 months on it. So, in 2020, this is just detached only, no new construction, right? We constantly drop out new construction, bring in Greg Slater here. He's doing some wonderful jobs on new construction. If on Friday or next week, when I'm back in. But in 2020, there were 71 units sold. In 2019, there was 83. So basically, in 2020, the same last 3 months was 12 units less. Days on market, believe it or not, was almost exactly the same, 10 versus 12, which is an interesting thing. But here's the median sales price is where the difference is. So in 19, this is last year, last same three months. So that's May 11th through today was the 4, right? In 2020, same thing, May 11th to today was 390. So we're up 16 grand. So we're down in number of units in Charlottesville, right? That's basically related to inventory, and then we're up in sales thing. So how many homes are available on the market right now in Charlottesville? 33.
33. Good Lord. That's Charlottesville City.
Yeah, but that's city. That's strictly city.
33
that's detached,
homes.
attached, and,
oh my goodness.
well, I think that's condos, attached and detached. we sit right now today, 62 are in pending. So that is
Not a healthy market.
a 2-to-1 ratio. So we've been talking about, Lake Monticello and some of the outside areas are growing. It's the same thing in the city, right? And prices are going up, but not crazy, right? Not this 2004, 5, and 6, double-digit increases. They're kind of healthy, which is what it should be, in my opinion. But yeah, it's the numbers. Even though all the statistics are saying people are leaving Charlottesville or leaving the urban centers, the numbers are.
I think they're leaving, Keith, from, and it looks like you froze again. I think they're leaving from urban centers like D.C. and these bigger ones and coming to places like Charlottesville. So that's something that we're going to certainly follow very closely. You see them frozen on your end over there, Judah? Yeah. We're going to take this as a TO right here, Keith. So here's what we're going to do. He's back in studio on Friday on Real Talk, and we will dot the I's and cross the T's from today's interview on Friday, and I'm excited about that. 33 homes on the market in the city of Charlottesville, including condos and attached homes, townhomes. That is not many. 33 homes on the market in the city of Charlottesville right now. That is not many. And I'm very curious to see how the University of Virginia and what it chooses to do in the fall semester and or the spring semester because of COVID-19. I'm curious to see how that's going to impact the real estate market. I think we have a lot of students, from what I'm hearing, a lot of students. We'll see if we can get them in one more time here, J-Dubs. All right, Keith, we're going to try you one more time here. Actually, it's not going through. We'll save them for Friday. I'm curious to see what is going to happen when these students who are under lease, they are going to go back to their apartments. Okay, the students are going to go back to their apartments and do virtual learning if the semester does go fully virtual. Remember, right now it's just temporarily virtual at the University of Virginia for the first couple weeks. If the entire semester does in fact go virtual for the fall, and some of the tea leaves are indicating that is the case, I truly expect the second, third, and fourth years at the University of Virginia to learn virtually from their off-grounds apartments in the city of Charlottesville. So what we potentially forecasted as maybe an uptick in inventory rental that could help the affordable housing pinch or lack thereof in the city. If students do not return to Charlottesville, instead if they choose to learn virtually from their respective homes instead of coming from Charlottesville, the crystal ball at the time was this is going to open up more rental units. And if more rental units are opened up, this will have a positive impact on affordability in Charlottesville. Well, what's instead happening is students are coming to the city of Charlottesville to learn. So we'll follow that really closely here on Real Talk, an insider's guide to real estate, life, and the pursuit of happiness. My name is Jerry Miller. This is Real Talk. It is a Tuesday on the I Love CVille Network. You guys have a good day. Take care.